Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your host, your friend, your boy, Mr. Adrian Jackson, and we're in the studio again with another great episode for you. And you already know who's with me. It's your boy, Mr.
Trois.
AKA 1-3 for y'all who don't speak the other languages.
French, bro. You gotta get romantic with it.
And I was gonna say Spanish, but I said that in Spanish.
No. I mean, shoot, it's like more close to Latin, maybe, if anything.
I mean, still European, right?
That.
So we're wrong with that. What's wrong with that?
I wasn't gonna give you nothing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Phone a friend. Don't do that.
But you already know 1-3 in the house, and we got some very special guests with us for another very special episode. So first to the mic, I'm gonna bring up Mr. Elijah Robinson, my Deuce Club. But boy, been rocking me with Reno for a long time. Noopy, how we doing today, brother?
Hey, it's a good day in the neighborhood, man.
Yes,
it's a good day in the neighborhood. Ready for this? It's about to be a good one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How my brother's keepers going for you? Podcast going good?
Podcast is going great, man. Amazing. That's what I'll say, man. Just recorded an episode with Brandon Marshall. Doing another episode for Wolfpack Unleashed for the University's podcast, and then my brother and me podcast. Making sure that we get another guest in this week. So
my brother and me, my apologies.
Oh, you good, brother?
Yes, sir. But make sure to check out my brother and me. I'll have the link in the bio and everything. And bringing next to the microphone is my college roommate. We just shared some great stories just now. Bringing him back again one more time, Mr. Mario Lewis.
I gotta say, they're legendary. That's my excerpt real quick. Go ahead.
Super legendary.
Yeah, we just showed him. We showed Don what he missed in college, man. He was a few years older.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes. Lou, how we doing today, brother?
I'm doing well, bro, and I appreciate you and your brother for inviting me again. So.
Oh yes, sir. I appreciate both you guys being back with us.
Hey,
today,
I mean, when you get invited the second time, hey, that means you did something good the first time. Hey, I'm just saying.
I'm not special. They special. I wanted to come back.
Hey, I'm just saying. I was in the DMs talking about, hey, y'all need me again? Y'all need me? Hey.
I was gonna let you guys know. Look, this has been like a 3-week episode in the making. We're trying to match schedules. People been getting sick, non-sick, in town, out of town, birthday parties, whatever's been going on. So I'm just glad we was able to finally get together, fellas. And everybody out there listening today, I know I sound a little clogged up right now. I live in a little sinus trouble, but COVID-19 negative, so we're not worried about that at all. We're just gonna get through this flu allergy season, wherever it is. We're gonna keep it swimming, you feel me? Yep. Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and dive into today's episode. And the reason I brought you guys back on today is to talk about a subject that I feel both of you guys have been excelling on, definitely growing up with you, through his whole college years, life after college. I can honestly say, first and foremost, that I knew both of you guys for 12 years now.
Woo! Boy, we old.
Right? I knew you, Mario, I met you
high school.
High school.
Yeah, high school.
Yeah.
High school.
9th grade?
Yep.
What's that, 15, 16?
Adrian in math class. Boy, I used to copy off Adrian like nobody did.
Hey, math class and that computer class, we was always playing 2K online and whatnot. That was popping. And then Elijah, I met you in college at 18 years old. So, look, y'all 31 now.
I mean, this was what I met. First person I met on campus was Mario. Second person I met was Adrian.
In class.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In our orientation
How
class.
to get a job.
Yeah. How to get a job. Right now.
Was that the class? How to get a job?
Yep.
So you know in the first week of school?
Right.
Remember the first week of school, you had
Were
the
you there first week of
orientations where it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was how to get a job.
Really?
And it was like, we also went to the food one.
and then what there's to do on campus.
Yeah, what they're doing on campus. So we went to the food because we both looked at each other when they named it the Awful Burger, and we was like, what the heck is that?
Awful.
R.I.P. the Awful Burger too. Just
what?
Shout out. Yeah, they
business.
I mean, the nugget is done. So the nugget is where you basically got it from.
Really?
They have it at other locations, but they don't have it at the basically where it started from at the little nugget down there.
Yeah, that looks hurt my feelings right.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
Pound of fries can't go wrong. But go ahead, Jack, man. You gotta
Yeah, man, can't go wrong. Pound of fries, pound of burgers, awfully fast,
on, man.
awfully good. Can't beat that.
Hey, real quick, Elijah was trying to size me up when he see me in the financial aid office. Because I think he had on a white beater and I had on a white beater.
Hey,
And that was y'all style too.
No,
Tattoos
okay,
popping.
so, hey, honestly, that wasn't it. So, again, I know we on the side. First of all, I was surprised to see another brother, if you really want to be honest. That's what it was.
Very true.
First of all, we looking at each other, I'm saying,
Like, really? Am I seeing this?
yeah, is it? Hey! And we kept it pushing, but it was so funny. even though you meet people on campus and we don't know, you might not be able to see them for another 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
But luckily, Mario was connected with Adrian. So when we had the block party, we all were connected again. So we all kind of came back, which was cool. You know what I'm saying?
And then look, let's go deeper on that connection. I was playing football, and Elijah you were the
manager.
The manager of the football team at the time. So we started connecting out of there. Yeah. And I remember one time, Dean was like, Elijah's coming to the room. I was like, who the hell's Elijah? And then Elijah walked in. I was like, oh, I been knew you. Yeah. Like, bro, where you been at this whole time? You finally kick with the homies now. Yeah. So welcome to the pack.
I promise you, I didn't know nobody up there. Started off fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, bro. My bad.
Yes. But no, I mean, that's a beautiful way to start off the topic. So we're going to start about growth right now. And I know you guys have been growing big time since that time we first met to where we are now. You know what I'm saying? Family man, kids, shoot, big degrees, multiple degrees, working toward big dreams. So we're doing big things right now, you know, the growth in there. And I just want to kind of take away the big umbrella of growth and actually focus on what it takes to grow.
Okay.
You know, so I just want to go a little slow. I just want to go down and break down a little bit of what you guys do to grow and how do you apply those aspects in life, you feel me? That makes sense. I know I'm part of it.
I just stared at me.
I know
right now. I wish the people could see it.
Intense. It was intense. It was beaming.
I feel uncomfortable. He's waiting for your answer. That's what he's waiting for.
So to start off, then I just wanted to see if you guys even agree with this statement. So you know, I've been listening to a lot of Napoleon Hill and things like that. John Maxwell says it the best, and he always talks about that growth is intentional. Mm-hmm. It's not something that just happens naturally. You have to want to grow to grow. For sure. So do you guys agree with that statement? Mario?
I do. I agree with it. I agree with it wholeheartedly.
Yes, sir.
It's especially, you know, when you talk about being intentional, because being intentional is like an extreme focus on the intended goal, whatever the goal may be. But the intentional part is so real because, like, say for instance, you want to play basketball, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, how intentional can I be to get to my dream? What does my diet look like, right? What does my nutrition look like? How often am I working out? How often am I putting up, jump shots? Right. Because it's funny, because I was just I was talking to my wife, and we were talking about a family member who wants to play a sport, and she didn't make the team though. And I'm like, why didn't she make the team? And she was like, she started working out and stuff, but in my mind, I'm like, did she start working out a little bit too late, right? Was she not intentional enough earlier on to get to that intended goal, right? Was she not, hitting whatever they do in volleyball? But if you look at it in a basketball sense, and I always like to use my younger brother as an example. He was so intentional with basketball that it was he ate it, he slept it. Mm-hmm. He did it in the morning, he did it, at night. He always did it. You know what I'm saying? And so it's no secret to why he's at where he's at. You know what I'm saying? Like a Brandon Marshall. We all know Brandon. Yeah, right. He was so, we were out in Reno having fun, but Brandon wasn't having fun with us. Yeah. Brandon was intentional about.
He said the same about Cap.
Yeah, all of them. So I agree with that. I agree with it.
I like it, bro. I like it. What about you, Loopy?
What's the statement again?
Do you agree that growth is 100% intentional and it doesn't just happen naturally?
Oh yeah. And again, I knew the question. I just wanted to put it out there for
the That's good growth right there.
But yes, definitely. And the reason why I say that is because I think at the end of the day, when you are being intentional with your growth, you have to take a step back in certain instances. I think you're tested every single day with growth. Mm-hmm. Are you going to react a certain way how you normally would, or are you going to react a different way? Right. And that's, you can use it, again, similar to sports. You might have, again, prom. I just kind of read a video not too long ago about this high school kid. And this high school kid, I think it might have been Mickey Williams that said it. And he was just like, why am I going to go to prom? I can go in the gym, go put up some shots, and go be able to kind of get more intentional with my game and be the best version of myself. Right. And I thought that was deep, because that shows you the maturity, in that of, hey, when I go and only time I need to go and celebrate is if I make it. Right. And when you have that mindset of, I need to grow into this person every single day. That's what pushes you. Yes, you might not have came from a hard upbringing, but at the end of the day, you know what your goal is.
Right.
And you know that if I'll say this. I think if your why is strong enough, it allows you to grow in the way you need to grow. Because you're going to go out there to separate yourself from what you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 weeks ago. If your why is that strong and you're waking up to that why every single day, you are going to want to change. And you look at that why every single day and you teary-eyed. Because at the end of the day, that why is that strong, and it should be. And it allows you to be able to sit not at a humble state, to be able to know, hey, in order for me to grow, I got to be able to do better for X, Y, and Z. Whether that, if you have, a child, if you have a wife, or whoever your why is, it could be your mother, your dad. If your growth is something that you truly want, you look at your why and you know where you're going every single day. Just like if somebody's why is, hey, I want to lose this weight. They're going to have that picture of them of what they don't like or like about themselves, and they're going to want to get better every day to push themselves 1% better every day. I know you said you were reading John Maxwell, and John Maxwell, uses one of my favorite quotes is getting 1% better every day. Failing 365%, but at the same time, if I were to talk to you, next year on the same time, at the same day, you were to get 365% better because you failed forward and you learned from not necessarily your mistake, but you learned from what you were going through. And you got better, 1% better. And that's 365% rate of growth.
I love it.
Let me ask you a question, Elijah, because you're talking about Mikey Williams, right? So did you see when Damian Lillard posted under his picture, it was like, dude, go to prom. Like, go be a kid.
So
what'd you think about that? Because he's only 16 years old.
He's, I think, 16, 17. He's going into a junior year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So for me personally, I understand. I get his mindset. Because actually Clinton Portis was kind of one of my role models when I was looking up, being a running back. I kind of wanted to do that, and that was one of the things that he did. He didn't go to prom, but it separated him from, I feel, of those small decisions. Just like when we talk about. Just like me and you, we have conversations, or me and Jack, we have conversations about, hey, how can I get better? But it's doing something different than what others will do, because a lot of people are not going to do that. But are you going to the gym just to go to the gym, or are you going to the gym and truly working on your craft and really in there creating a sweat? Just like with Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps did 16 years of being in the pool every single day. That allowed him to be in a position where his lungs got to where it was. His pause. I want to say his stroke. His stroke. You know what I'm saying? His stroke being, he was able to do that, but it allowed him to be one of the most decorated Olympians that our country has ever seen. So that's what separates everything of, are you doing something that your competition is doing? I think, again, I don't mean to keep going on a big soliloquy, but it's, somebody else used Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He said, I know my competition is sleep at this particular time. So I'm up at 4. You might look better than me. You might be able to do that, but you will never work harder than me because I'm going to be consistent with it. My eating habits are going to be consistent. Everything about me is going to be so consistent that you're going to fall off one day and I'm going to surpass you even more. Just based upon that. So again, it's in order for growth to happen, it has to be something that I feel like your why has to be strong. And 2, you have to do something that is going to separate you. You can't do what the masses are doing and be able to be in a situation where you're saying, hey, I'm going to be better, and you're doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So that's just me personally.
No, it's deep you said that, because I like how you use the word, your why has to be strong to, one, know where you're even growing to. Because, I think the way I asked the question, yes, it's intentional, but a lot of people grow into something they don't know they're growing into because they don't know why.
At the end of the day, it's still growth, but it's depending on the direction
it's
that
probably
you're
a
going.
negative growth.
Yeah.
So you could be, and honestly, going off of this is something that, is true off the Bible. Iron sharpens iron. You're in a position where you can grow into a negative seed, in regards to somebody that hates themselves, but you grew into this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know a couple people, that are on the streets, in regards to, slanging, doing their thing, but they grew into that. It was once being acceptable, and now they're at a position where like, man, I can't be in this anymore. I have a child to look out through. Yeah. This is what I grew into. It's all I know. I don't have any other skills. But this is who you grew into. Not saying you can't get out of it, but this is who you grew into. So it's a situation of, if you are growing in the right direction, we don't know what the right direction is. We can have, I think, I'll use another analogy. If you have a target, you need to at least know what you're aiming at, rather than being in a situation where you're shooting it and you're just like, oh, that's where I meant to be.
And then draw the target around the arrow.
And that's not it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
No, and that's why I like how you said that. You pretty much summed it up for me for sure. Like, you know, you need to know what your why is, so you know you're growing to the direction that you want to go. You're not just growing any old way, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh wow, how did I get here? Let me figure out how to veer back to the course I should have been on. You know what I'm saying? Not make it too late. So that really kind of brings me to my next question is then how often do you guys work on your growth? Like, how often do you try to grow?
Every day.
Every day.
Every single day. Truthfully,
Every second.
I mean, I think that's what I was about. I think it's every minute, every second, I mean, when your eyes are open, you're intentional. But technically, even when your eyes are closed, you're intentional because, in my case, I'm next to my wife, so I'm intentional with the loving that she needs. My wife's love language is quality time. Me being in the bed with her and being next to our son, quality time. That's spending time with what she needs to help us grow. Right. You know, again, we're asleep. Yeah. It might not seem like it, but when you
that body presence,
that body warmth that's there, that allows you then to be in a situation where your spouse is like, okay, my spouse is here. My spouse isn't in the streets. My spouse isn't at the clubs. My spouse is here with me. I'm okay. I can go to sleep and I feel calm. Grow.
I like it.
Yeah, you get to the point to where like you train in the subconscious mind to make the right choices and decisions, because choices and decisions add up. You know what I'm saying? And too many wrong decisions will put you in a negative situation, right?
Exactly.
And vice versa. Great decisions and great choices will put you in, a huge growth,
compound
momentum. Yeah,
compound effect.
Absolutely. So
domino effect and
better
compound
when
effect.
it's like you're conscious of whether you're making the right decision or not.
Absolutely.
Because when you don't have that consciousness, that awareness to even know what you're doing, then I mean you're up for grabs for the world. And the every second, every minute of the day thing is true, because it's just like, what are you doing right now? And then why are you doing it right now? And could you think of the consequences, good or bad, that comes after this decision?
Yeah. I think it's so important, man, that I don't think people realize how important it is to train the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is so negative.
Powerful. It is.
It's powerful too, but it's so negative. And people wonder why they resort back to, to negative ways or bad habits or, negative choices, or, even if you look at it as a diet, like, I'm trying to eat good, but subconsciously, I want that chocolate cake. You keep resorting back to that, man. Like, I try to listen to stuff going to sleep that's positive. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm consciously making, great decisions, great choices.
But that allows you also to be in a good mood when you wake up too.
Gosh,
different than you watching something that is negative and allows to put you in a bad mindset when you wake up. So I love that point.
Y'all keep watching the news and letting these people tell y'all crazy stuff.
For real,
man. Hey,
you need a break.
Come on now, positivity
at least.
You better throw on some Just Swimming. You better throw on there, man. Shoot,
for sure.
But it's a great point, because I think subconsciously, just like when we drive, sometimes we zone out and you're like, yo, how did we get here? But you got there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you like, bro, how did I get here? I was zoned out the whole time. That's your subconscious mind. It knows what it's doing.
Right.
So you're in a position where we haven't worked on our subconscious mind because we haven't been told how to work our subconscious mind. The majority of the information that we could use to get us better are in books, and we don't like to open those up. We rather open up a YouTube channel. We rather open up a video of a motivation of somebody telling us this and that, rather than us reading it, being able to absorb that information. A lot of people like to quote the Bible, but at the end of the day, you can't tell me specifically what is in the Bible, because all you're doing is taking scriptures that can be able to validate your points, rather than that's it. Again, you're in a position where you can utilize the Bible. Like I just found out not too long ago that there was a lot more than just we talk about lesbian, and again, I'm not getting on that, but I'm just saying there's a lot more to that scripture other than not having sex with the same sex. There's not having sex with your with your sister, not having sex with your dad's wife. It goes on. It's 19 of those points that we don't talk about, but we only utilize one. So again, subconsciously, we're in a position where we are always doing something negative, and we're doing it to validate our point rather than trying to learn so much more to validate others.
Right.
Like omitting the truth, the whole truth. Like you're speaking facts because that's what it says, or this is what it's showing, or I've experienced this, but y'all forget the context of why that shit happened in the first place.
Right. No, and it's pretty deep. He said that. I was having a conversation with Miss House the other day, actually, and then she said something deep, talking about just how you say about the Bible. It's like we always talk about, infidelity, stuff like that, but then why are the preachers all 300 pounds? Yeah. Why are they talking about gluttony? Gluttony. You know what I'm saying? The preachers are practicing this, but they're not talking about it in the service, though, but they'll talk about everything else that you're not supposed to do, but they're the ultimate gluttons in the Bible, but that's pretty deep. So cool. I like where you're going with that, Elijah, and I actually want to bounce off of what you were saying. Let's talk about now the little things that we do, the things that we do to change our subconscious mind. And let's start off with reading, actually. So what kind of books do you guys read to, one, change your mind, and then two, how do you read? Because I know there's a big difference in just picking up a book and reading. You have to be able to take in the knowledge. So what type of books do you read, and then how do you read? Whoever starts off with that.
I'll go, because Mario went first lines. One of my favorite books is a book that shook my whole world. The book is called Leave for God's Sakes.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
One of the best books that I've ever read, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. We've read, you ask Mario's probably read close to 100 books in the last 4 or 5 years. Myself, I'm right under that, but one of the best books that stood out to me was Leave for God's Sakes. Why? Because it showed you that just because you have a way of doing things is not always the way of which you should do it. Everybody should be able to, everybody is held at a different standard. There was a star player, he was held at a different standard. There was another player that was held at a different standard. The coach was on them very hard, but he wasn't getting any results because he wasn't coaching from his heart. One of the quotes that I will use, give me 1 second, and it's by Theodore Roosevelt. It's people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
So right there, bro.
So when people know how much you care, and honestly, I went through this today at work. That's a whole different story. But that book, once he was able to lead with his heart, so much more happened for him. And he learned this from a janitor. And the janitor turned out to be a CEO of a company that he stepped down from.
Right.
One of the most, and the reason why it was because it tugs on every emotion that you have. It tugs on your subconscious mind, and you're like, yo, do I do this? When I'm talking to my child, do I talk to my child out of love, or do I talk to my child out of, you need to do this because this is what I think, and this is the formula that has worked, instead of, hey, no, let me listen to what you're doing, or what you need to be able to make this better.
Right.
And once he did, things changed. And the CEO was that. And again, I would say go pick up the book yourself. It's a short read. It's not really a long read. I read it once a year myself because it's just something that tugs on my heart, and it tugs on my emotion of how to be a better person, how to be a better husband, how to be a better father. And again, for me, when I'm reading that book, if you can be able to get to my senses, and I mean my senses of my emotions, making me feel this way, and it allowed me to be in that moment where I feel like he's talking to me, the author, hands down. I even tweeted the author. The author said, again, I appreciate you, you're, that you love the book. We are thinking about another book, but just for an author to reach out to you like that.
Right. And
it's all based upon using your heart. If I'm not mistaken, was it a little bit of religious as well? If I'm not mistaken,
it was definitely a little spiritual.
Yeah, okay.
Truthfully, it was spiritual for sure, and it's Leave for God's Sake. That was the title. Yeah. But my biggest takeaway from the book was, and not to give it away, and Elijah gifted me that book, which extremely grateful for that. And then I gifted it to my brother, my nephew, so I don't even have any copies right now. But the book is so good because, like Elijah said, the CEO who dropped down became the school's janitor. He was a janitor. And so how often do we as kids judge the janitor walking through school?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you really do a janitor job? But the janitor was a millionaire behind closed doors.
Just chilling.
Just chilling. But he was there for impact. He was there to like
Change the world.
pour into people.
Oh man, like I said,
He was there for his mission was totally different than being the janitor. Like he was like on a call like to do something totally bigger than actual sweeping floors and cleaning the bathroom.
Right.
And the book was so good because it reminds me of this statement my pops always said to me. He said, as me growing up, he said, I always treated the janitor like the millionaire. Because I'll treat, basically saying I want to treat all people equal.
Right.
So treat the janitor like the millionaire and the millionaire like the janitor. Treat them just as one.
Yeah,
because they're people still.
They're people, and so you get that idea from the book. It's a really good book. You definitely get it.
That's good.
Going off of what you just said, there was a video on Instagram, and it was a homeless guy, and they were asking him, how do you feel, being out here? He was like, for me, do you think I want to be out here? He said, people don't treat me as if I'm human. He was like, you don't think I want to go get a job? Yeah. He said, you don't think I want to go and go to interview? Once they see me, they don't want to do anything. Do I get to be able to shower before? I can't. Yeah. I can't ask them to call me back because I don't have a phone. But you're not treating me as a human. So I love that. Like, honestly, anytime, Pops Rob always talk about it, I always listen because it's true. Again, I think we all have moments where we have looked down upon, I'm not saying we do that now, but we have looked down upon a situation like that. But I think doing things of understanding why certain people were, like the example for us, being on 3rd Street or 4th Street, being able to serve those homeless families when we were in Reno. That allowed us to, we had parties, but we were allowed to see where families are coming in and getting served by us and thanking us when we're thanking them because we're just appreciative of you guys being here, and us being able to serve you, not the other way around, of you being, it brought, for me, that was the first, and I know Mario used to always tell me, like, yo, we used to do this a lot. I never did that as a kid growing up. So for me to, us to do it as a fraternity and us to organize it and, was there once a month, it was one of the most humbling experiences, So again, that's just going off of what he said. Again, we have to be able to treat others the same. And I know, Jack, you were asking, how do we, pull from a book per se?
No.
For me, that when we talk about books, the more, again, there are good books. Like Failing Forward by John Maxwell is a good book. But what separates a good book from me and a great book is if you can be able to tug on. I can put myself there. You can tug on my emotions, and I can feel like this is something that I've seen before. Like I look at another book that we read, The Go-Giver. Another great book where it was something that I could paint myself being there.
Yeah.
Again, literally being like, oh shoot, this is something.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, that's how when I read a book, again, there are books that you kind of just read and you just like, okay, I'm just getting my reading in. But you also have books that you're like, it's a page turner. Yeah. I guarantee you that book that I gave Mario, I finished that book within a week. And I usually don't even finish books like that, but I was so just
stuck in it.
It was like every day when I woke up, I'm like, yo, I need to get to the next page because it's just so much stuff going on in here. You're trying to figure out what's going on. So it's a great book that I would, recommend for everybody to at least be able to have. Amazon has it for use. Chill out for y'all.
But dude. But honestly, I think you answered the question perfectly. So like, what's the type of book you're looking for? You're looking for a book, like you said, I can get into the book, I can relate to the book, or I feel like the author wrote this for me, because you actually truly connect with the book, and that's real, because I have read books that I just listen to and it's like, good book, good deep, but, shrug it off, and then there's been books that, like for me right now, my book would be, what's the name of that book? Time set. I got so many books in my Audible. The Alchemist. So I don't know if you guys have read The Alchemist yet.
I've heard of it. I've heard it was definitely good.
Oh my God. So The Alchemist, it's a very short book. It's only audiobook wise, it's only like 4 to 5 hours, but this is a book that I probably listen to once every 2 months, just because every time I listen to it, I hear new things that I didn't hear the first time. But at the same time, I don't disrespect this book as in when it starts playing, it's going all the way through. The only time I pause it is because somebody's talking to me, I gotta pause it. But if I start playing this book, I'm not about to play another book into it. I'm not about to say I'm gonna come back to this chapter later. No, I'm playing this story straight through because it's just deep, you know. But the way that book, like you said, connects to me personally was, you know, the story of the shepherd boy looking for his purpose, starting to realize that the world is really connected in deeper ways than we truly expect. Like you said, the janitor, you know, some old dude walked up to him. He think he's some old dude who wants his coffee, and it turns out this old dude's a king. You know what I'm saying? With literally gold on his chest. Like, if he opened up his robe, it was gold, but he wanted to cover up, but he don't know how to see it. You know, it's just like the way things connect and the way the story flowed, and it just the way it explains life. It really just connected with me like big time. You know, it has a lot of jewels in it. Yeah. What about you, Lou?
So I'm reading right now. It's called Men of God, and it's by. Let me see if I got the author real quick. Thought I had just pulled it up. It's by Charles Stanley, and the way I came about this book was so my brother-in-law he works at one of the prisons, and he said he was at work one day and he kept seeing the book. One of the inmates was reading. He kept seeing the book on one of the tables. He kept walking past and like, dude, there's something about this book, like he wanted to read it. And so he said he stuck it in his pocket one day at work, and so he's just walking around working, he'll read it, you know, when he got spare time. And he said the book got so good and intriguing that he had to go buy it. And so he's reading it, he was like, wow, this book is really good. And so he ended up, you know, gifting me a copy as well now. And so now I'm reading it, and the book is like life-changing for me. It's, oh my gosh, it's like those little intricate moments how you come across, you know, material like this, and then it becomes life-changing. Because, you know, whoever thought he would have found a book in the prison that, you know, is impactful to him, and then he passed it along, and it becomes impactful to me. So it's just those little fine moments, man. And this book is doing everything. It is, you know, biblical, and it's a lot of faith it talks about, but you know, nonetheless, that's just, you know, my season right now, and it's my journey. So, you know, at this point, you know, and it talks about, you know, just the man and, you know, the responsibilities and the characteristics we're supposed to have, you know, with our family, our children, our community, and stuff like that. And right now I'm reading a little excerpt. It was talking about, like, you know, the natural man, right? In short terms, right? The natural man can't comprehend what those are doing who's been, you know, reborn, right? So say, like, I'm on this journey and I've got this crazy vision from God. You know, I've given my life to Christ, and, you know, they say, you know, God has given you your vision for a reason. You know, he didn't give it to everybody else because they can't see what you can see. And so it's talking about, like, the natural man, and you trying to explain, you know, to the natural man the path and the journey that, you know, you're on, but they're not going to understand it because they're living in this natural worldly lifestyle. And it's just, they're not going to be able to comprehend what you're saying. And I'm like, wow, how deep is that? You know what I'm saying? So I think my biggest advice to people who's on their journey, who's on their path, who's trying to, you know, overcome and become, and it's like, you know, don't give up. You know, I mean, you can share your dream with everybody. I mean, you can share your dream with some people, but don't share it with everybody, because there's dream stealers out there. You know, there's people waiting to, you know, to shoot you down, or you telling them good stuff and they're really preying on your downfall. Right. And those are people who's just not where you at, and you're trying to tell them your vision when God didn't give them their vision. They didn't give you, you know, whatever God gave you to see, he didn't give them to see. So, you know, it's talking about stuff like that right now, and it's good though. It's good. I definitely recommend it. Yeah.
You know, going off of what you said, you know, in regards to people being dream stealers, yeah, you have those people. And as they say, you know, again, from the pastor, most dreams are killed in infant stage. Because everybody knows about it. And that's when it's best to be able to kill something. You know, that's why, you know, back in the day, they wanted to kill all the men that were, or the boys that were being born. Because, again, what's the best way to kill somebody with purpose is to kill them in infant stage, when they don't have any purpose behind them right now. So for you to say that, that's, honestly, it's deep. You know, when you talk about people stealing your dreams, those are the people that are still in that infant stage. Because you're not, and I'm not going to say you're not, but I'm just using it from my personal standpoint, you're not rooted enough to be able to stand on what you believe at that particular point, because you're afraid of somebody else's response. Right. So going off what you said, like I think that's huge, man. That's something that you got to protect at all costs. At the end of the day, you have to have your village around you to pour into you, to make sure that vision sprouts.
Right.
But you're also you gotta know the difference between your village and other people that are just trying to listen to put you down and be like, hey, you can't do that, it's too much, you know. But
that's some deep shit, bro. I'm not even gonna say too much, but like, man, that's why I'm like coming to see at the moment.
No, it's funny because we were talking about this last week. So last week the episode was about purpose. And we were talking about that last week, like how, you know, some people when they come in, they're trying to shake your purpose. You know, and it kind of led to what Elijah was saying about the basketball player. Do I go to prom? Do I hoop? Or whatever. And it was like, think about how many people were blowing his phone. Like, you ain't coming to prom, bro?
Seriously, yeah.
What's wrong with you? You tripping? Just play basketball. You ain't that good. You know, like, how much negativity was probably thrown in his head that made him be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm really going to practice now because y'all trying to steal my dream from me. I don't want to lose that.
For sure. You know? I think you in a sweet spot when you got everybody trying to steal your dream. I think that's a good sign. That's a huge sign because now you know you're headed somewhere.
And it's like, it's not even that they're conscious of it or if they are for that matter. It's just like, yo, this is what I said I'm planning to do, so I'm gonna do that. Unfortunately, I can't pour my cup into yours at the moment, but this is what I gotta do. So let me start it.
That's a really good point. Think about it, right? People may not even be conscious
of them trying to do it.
Of them trying to do it. Why is that?
I think Go ahead.
Okay, so look, I was gonna give a prime example of that right now. So prime example is literally today. Moms came over, brought me some Alka-Seltzer or whatnot, drank it up, and then she called me later, said how you was feeling. I'm good, you know what I'm saying, I'm about to get ready for this podcast. I think you shouldn't do the podcast today because you sick and I don't want you to get nobody else is sick and you sound terrible. And it was like, I paused and I was like, I wanted to be like, you're probably right, but something was like, nah, I've been fighting for this episode for too long for me to cancel it right now. Everybody said they're down to do it. I don't care what happens. I'm gonna get this episode done, you know. And it's like she probably didn't think about the idea that she was probably being negative at the moment. She was thinking about the idea of your health, health of the people, safety. But then on the flip side, though, it was kind of like, well. It was technically negative though, but like from what I needed to hear, I didn't need to hear that right then. Right. To say, don't do that.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but hey, this situation in the Bible's screaming at me right now, and I forgot which one of the disciples it was, but when Jesus was like going through and he saw his death coming. And then he was like, no, we won't let that happen. And he was like, back away from me, you devil.
Yeah, so he was talking to, I forget he's talking, but he was saying, you're going to deny me twice.
Yes.
And that was it. He was like, no, I'm not. And
didn't change.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But he did it.
Was he talking to Peter?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Peter.
Yeah, so he did it.
He was talking to Peter.
So he did it subconsciously. He said no, which Peter was one of the, I won't say the best disciples, but one of the leaders in the disciples.
Yeah.
So when he got to that point, he was like, no, I'm not Jesus. Nah.
He sure did, though.
Yeah, you know, he sure did. He was like, but he realized it after he did it.
Yeah.
You know, but most people don't realize what they do after. Going off of what you just said, most people don't realize that they are stealing your dream because they're trying to protect you, like Mario said, but they're protecting you more in the emotional standpoint.
Yes.
They don't realize what they're doing in the, whether that's the monetary side, whether that's the romance side, whatever the case may be. I could use, example like my mom like saying, hey, move back to the Bay when I was in LA. My mom was thinking about me more in the standpoint of an emotional, I have a job for you, we got this and that. But my mom wasn't looking out for me to having a child. My mom wasn't looking out for me of buying a house. My mom was looking out for me that emotional standpoint. That emotional standpoint. So when we get to that point where we're like, why do our parents do that? They do it, not just parents. It could be, somebody that's real close to you that do it, but they don't realize it. But if you truly have a genuine friend, if you have a genuine village around you, you can be able to speak to them, and they're gonna be like, "Oh man, I didn't mean it like that." But you're gonna be able to express how you felt, and they're gonna be able to say, "Oh, okay, I can see where you're coming from. I didn't mean it like this," but you're gonna be able to have a civilized conversation. Usually, the dream killer is gonna be somebody that's gonna be very defensive. Oh no, man, that's not what I meant, but you taking it the wrong way, and now I'm gonna just leave you alone.
I agree with you that one. Yeah,
we having a conversation. And as adults, we should be able to progress in the right way of having a conversation. I'm not going to sit here and say me and Mario or me and Adrian we've been perfect this whole, no. There's been plenty of times we've been at the table and we argue,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we can be able to now take a step back and say, hey, where were you coming from this?
Yeah.
I didn't understand. It was a miscommunication in that one little moment that allowed us to be able to get to that argument standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what a true friend is going to do. They're going to ask for clarification. Mario gets mad at me all the time when I ask, yo, I need clarification. Is this what you mean? Is this what you mean? Just so I can understand what he means. Because there's so many, that's how arguments start. And at the end of the day, if you have a true friend, your true friend doesn't want that to happen. So if I have trouble with understanding stuff and just to make sure I'm okay with, is this what you meant?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't want to take it the wrong way. And now we can be able to move forward. Okay, now I understand. We can go. Now I'm not taking it the wrong way. So that's what true clarity does. I mean, you know, it takes time.
And it's perfect you said that, because that's how me and the mom's conversation ended. It was like, honestly, Mom, I would cancel it, but look, I already told them I was sick. I told them I got the negative results. You know, I've been playing this thing for like 3-4 weeks now. Whoop-de-whoop, I had to do this. Okay, if you feel that good about it, then do it. Just wear a mask. You know, okay, let me do something to make you still feel safe. Make her feel safe. Wear a mask, please. So
Compromise. But you can't get to a compromise unless you can be able to have those communication, like conversations. Yeah, where you're actually getting the point across and you're understanding their point at the same time and taking the time to do so. Right.
So can I add something that I learned?
Yeah,
and again,
please.
I'm in a not off what you said, Donovan, but going off what you said. A lot of people want to compromise about a lot of stuff. Think about that. But when you're compromising, you're giving up something in order for somebody else to get something, right? Mm-hmm. So instead of, like, I think one of my professors said it, they said instead of compromising, you're collaborating. Because when you collaborate, you both are coming with your same ideas and you are working together on a common goal. And it's not a situation where you're giving up anything or that person's giving up anything. And when you work together, you are striving to the point where you need to be. Mm-hmm. If you are compromising, you're giving up part of you or part of what you want. So now you got to be unsatisfied or unhappy because you've given up something just to make this person happy, and the same vice versa. So it's when we're collaborating together, now everybody has what they want. We just got to figure out how to be able to bring everything all together.
You poured in each other's cups at the same time.
That's it. Right. All at the same time. Not you go first, I go second. Yeah. No, we're gonna all do this together.
I love that. We're collaborating, not compromising. We're collaborating. We're teaming up. We're not, both losing something. We're getting something greater together.
Yep.
I love that. So this is actually going to lead me to my next question then is I know earlier we were talking about, growth, sometimes it's being present, so I just want to talk about a little bit more about being present and how does that help you grow. So, I know you guys got kids and everything like that. I know that, they ask for time and stuff like that. So I was just wondering, like, how do you practice being present around people that I'm terrible with the words. How do you practice being present?
Like with children?
I mean,
children, anything.
Okay, I'll use I think being present, like for me, I know who my father is. My father wasn't present in my life. I have my stepdad in my life, love him like he's my dad. So let me just put that out for clarification. For me, my goal is to be present in my child's life. And that could be overbearing to some people, but my wife takes it and understands why I'm that way.
Right.
So again, whether that's a doctor's appointment, I want to be there. I want to at least be FaceTimed.
You want to know what's happening.
Whether that's my child, if my child is sick, I will be the one to take off work. My wife doesn't have enough time. I'll take off work. Don't worry about it. I want to be so present in my child's life that my child never feels the feeling of neglect or the feeling of not being present like I did.
Right.
And they feel like they're not whole. Because they should always feel whole. They should always feel like somebody is there to support them. If we're talking about even with friends,
right.
I use the example, Adrian can have an event going on. I'm going to show up because it's the village of support. Mm-hmm. When you were there and you're present in somebody's life, you have to be able to show in all aspects. It's not just, hey, I'm here, vocally for you. No, there's times that you got to go out of your way to do stuff that you don't really want to do, but you're there. And that shows your growth because at the end of the day, who matters? It goes back to your why. Are your friends your why? Are they considered your family? Because everybody that's here is my family. It's not necessarily my friends. So when they need something from me, or hey, come over to grandma's house, hey, she cooked, cool. I'm not necessarily going over there for food. It's a plus. Yeah. But I'm not going over there just for food. Mario can hit me, hey, my family's having to get together. I'm gonna go over there just to support, show my face. Because at the end of the day, my family ain't out here. So I'm always going to show my growth in, hey, I'm going to be present. And why? Because at the end of the day, that's my brother. That's not a situation where that's my friend anymore. This is not, where we just met. So at the end of the day, when you're talking about being present, it's a consistent, everyday basis. I look at the relationship that, and I know he's probably going to talk about it, but I look at the relationship that Mario has with his daughters. Let alone when he first, I haven't really seen too much with Kalani, but I see a lot with Big Ken.
Right.
And with her, I see the relationship, the growth from when she first was born to now. You could see when things are going wrong, Mario's there to protect as a father should, because that's what he learned. But it's growth in him. It's something that was unnatural, but it became natural as you are put in certain situations.
Right.
And that's what I've learned. Same thing, again with my child. So it's, again, every day possible, we got to move forward.
Right. Okay. And then, so I like the idea, like you said, with the kids for sure. So now let's go on a deeper level then. Like, what is it to be, like, present in your reading, present in your audio, present in living? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you practice being present in all aspects then?
In terms of just being there, are you know what I'm saying? Are you saying like in terms of being there? And
yeah, like being there. Like, actually, like, for example, I can read, but then sometimes I feel I zone out because I'm not present in my reading.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or I can be having a deep conversation with Donovan, but then I realize something just clicks to let me know, like, yo, I didn't pay attention to the last things he said last week. So how do you
For sure. And I think that just goes back to your first question of being intentional. Mm-hmm. Once you're intentional with everything that you're doing, I don't think you'll zone out. I think you'll be present. Like Elijah said, if the why is strong enough, then you'll do it. And I think that's not only with kids, not only with reading, but I think that's with anything. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because what's the point of? I think you may have said it, Elijah, and I think you may have quoted Kobe or somebody like that. But when Kobe went to the gym to put up X amount of shots, he didn't go up there just to go shoot in the motion, right? He went in there to take game shots. Mm-hmm. He went in there to take shots that he's going to take in the basketball game. And he's not finna just go in there and throw the ball from half court in the baseline all day, right? He's going in there to do mid shots and free throws and elbow and his pivots and all of that good stuff, right? Because he was intentional. With everything that oh my gosh, if you look at Kobe's life, if you just, and not even off the court too, man, that guy's so intentional, it's mind blowing. You look at all these professional athletes, they're not at that, star level for no reason. Look at LeBron James, a lot of people don't like him, but you can't deny the fact that this dude is great. Yeah. But he's so intentional. He's so intentional with his body. He's so intentional with his family. He's so intentional, from what we can see on the outside looking in with his friends, putting his friends on, you know what I'm saying? Just, he took everybody to new heights, bro. His whole little, his whole little crew, bro, they're at different levels, man. But I think it all came from being intentional, for being, present, for actually being there, mentally, physically, spiritually, involved in whatever he had going on. And so, for me, I think it's the same, bro. Just, being intentional, making sure, mentally, I'm on point, making sure physically I'm on point, my health is on point, making sure, my relationships is good with, my wife and my daughters and my parents and my siblings and, my pastors and, mentors and all of that stuff, man. Just been intentional in my relationships. And so, I think, like I said, man, I could go in circles, like a dog chasing his tail, but, intentional. I think that's what it comes down to, being intentional.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I 100% love what you said, because definitely, like you said, the Kobe, the very beginning of it, he's taking game shots, and I don't know if you remember that time. I think we were stuck in summer school, and I was like, yo, Luke, I want you to help me hoop a little better. Yeah. And you weren't just having me do some random shooting. You was having me do stuff that if we were playing 5-on-5, this is the type of role I would play, and this is the type of shots I should be taking. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? That's so it can just transfer over to the game better. Yeah. And I love that idea that you have to practice your game time right now all the time. You know what I'm saying? Practice your eye contact when you're talking to your parents, to your kids, to your cousins. Mm-hmm. So when you go talk to your boss, you can still have that eye contact and don't be afraid of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Read the books every day. So when you're tired, you don't want to read, it'll be nice and smooth for you. It's not going to be more of a struggle. It's going to be, all right, nice and easy for you, you know. So I love that, man. I love that.
And when it comes to like getting those little habits out in the day, like, you know, the reading, and if you listen to podcasts, or, you know, whatever you do to, you know, to get your mental on track, but do it during the sweet hours of the day. Everybody got like sweet hours of the day where they're their best. You know, mine's is in the morning, bright and early. I'm like at my best in the morning. Now, if you're waiting until, you know, late at night to get, you know, just the stuff that you do to be on point, you're not gonna be present. You're gonna be sleepy. You're probably gonna be hungry. And 2 minutes just comes from cutting out the distractions, especially if you're still trying to kick it with the homies, but you telling, you know, the other people like you really want to succeed in whatever you're doing. It's like you're not present, bro. You're in the middle. You're on the fence right now. Right. And it probably hurts being on the fence, especially if you're a male.
That's
you know
deep.
I
love how you said that. You know what I'm saying? You're saying one thing, but you're doing another. You're not present. That's not being present.
For sure.
You know, that's not being intentional.
And truthfully, so many people, you know, compartmentalize their lives. Like, they're at 1,000 different places, but they're one person. It's like you're this person today, then you're him tomorrow. Then on social media, you're flashing and you're living your best life, and then, you know, you get off social media and you're going to sleep crying, and it's like you're not present. Like, you need mentally, you're not there. Yeah. You know, you got to reevaluate. You got to, you know, reassess some stuff. So being intentional, bro. You know, I think that's the main thing.
Right, I love it, man. And that takes me back to, I forgot who said it, but it's a story of, if you're being all these different people in different spots, what's going to happen when everybody's in the same room together?
You
know, who you going to be now?
You're going to be exposed.
You're going to be exposed, you know.
They used to call them posers. You know?
Yes.
So, that's good. That's really good.
So we don't keep this thing too long. I'm actually going to head to our end game then. And one of my questions for you guys is how are you guys challenging yourself daily to continue to grow? What are you doing to challenge yourself to continue to grow?
Set new goals. And what I mean by that is I haven't hit none of my goals that I want.
Yeah, keep it honest, bro, and that's real. Yeah. That's real. Intentional. I love it.
But also, I mean that in a good way. Because when I get close to my goals, I redo them. So I never hit them. Why? Because I don't want to ever be satisfied. I don't want my wife to ever be satisfied. I don't want my son to be ever satisfied, because at the end of the day, I want us to strive for greatness every single day. I want us to strive with purpose, because if we truly are going to be breaking family chains, we have to do something different than everybody's doing. Right. And if I hit my goal, I'm satisfied. I don't want to hit my goal. I don't want to ever be there. I want to be close to it so I can be able to reevaluate and do a further goal, so I can get close to that and I can reevaluate to do another further goal. Because at the end of the day, if I'm always chasing my goal, there's never a time where I'm going to be able to walk away and say, dang, this is done. Right. You know what I mean? Oh, man, you know what? I'm at my end. No. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to still face roadblocks. You're going to come at you a lot faster. Why? Because you have goals. So now your roadblocks to get there is going to be a lot harder. And you might not want to go through it because you are struggling with a long journey and you're trying to shrink it very short because you're having goals. A lot of people don't have those goals. A lot of people at 28 don't have goals of wanting to be, debt free. A lot of people at 28 don't want to have goals of being married. So you're trying to put goals into something that you necessarily have never done before. So you're going to have roadblocks. You have ups and downs. You're going to feel like this isn't my purpose. But it's your purpose because if you still have breath, you still have a purpose. Right. If God woke you up every single day, you're still here for a reason. And you have breath in you and you're able to talk to somebody, you still have purpose every single day. Amen. So that is something that I strive for every single day, of setting new goals, making sure that me and my wife, our own personal goals and our marriage goals, making sure that we are one, not one half and one half. No, we are one together, and making sure that we come together for our son, because if he sees a united front, that's how he wants his marriage to be later on down the road. Right. And that's what we want to be able to not just portray, but we want to show every single day.
Right. So before we go to you, Mario, so you do daily goal, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals, you go goals.
So for myself, I have my set goals of what I do daily. Again, making sure I get my reading in, extra X, Y, and Z. Then, have my monthly goals, what I want to obtain. Right. But most importantly, I have my yearly goals, or I have my 4 months goals. Basically every 90 days, I have my goal of what I want to do. And if I get close to that goal, which I haven't hit one of my goals, but hey, at the end of the day, I'm striving for it every day. Yeah. But at the end of, you said what?
No, I was gonna say, you reevaluate them every time.
Yeah, so I reevaluate, and it's how can we get better?
Right.
We tried it this way, it didn't work. Let's go get some perspective from somebody else. They have the fruit on the tree that we need. Let's reevaluate what we can do to be able to do it. Let's do exactly what they're doing. Let's duplicate it. Let's do what we can do. But at the end of the day, it's up to us. We can't say, hey, somebody asking somebody for help and we're not implementing it. It's like you asking for a teacher for help on some calculus. And you're not doing exactly the way that they showed you. You're trying to, hey, man, let me add this A over here. You know what I mean? You're messing up the formula. So if you utilize exactly what McDonald's brothers did, you utilize what Chipotle does, Courtyard by Marriott, whatever the case, and you do the exact same formula, you're going to have a successful business. The same thing with life. If you are following the right people with the right fruit on the tree, and you want to strive that, and you know God has put purpose in you to be able to obtain that, and you know it's Him because you've asked and you've had that moment with Him, and your family has, then yes, strive on the right path. A lot of times we strive on the wrong path, and it allows us to go left, and that's not where God had us to be. But He's gonna let you go over there so you can realize that that's truly not what you want. Right. But when you're finally ready and you're allowing me to be in your life, to sit in the driver's seat with you, I can be able to guide you into the life that you need.
Right. Well, that's deep. And what about you, Lou? What do you do to challenge yourself daily?
Well, I just surround myself with good people. Just my association of people, man. I try to get around people who's, more elevated than me. Just allow, for me to tug and, have something to look, towards and up to. So, my association, as far as goals and all that stuff, I don't have any crazy goals right now. My whole goal is just to keep progressing and getting better every day, bro. Because every day you're not going to be, you're not going to be at. You're going to be at. I don't want people to take this the wrong way. Every day you're not going to be able to give it, your best, your best. But on that given day, whatever you have and whatever you're getting might just be your best at that day. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's my goal, man. Just to, give it my best every single day, with what I have, right? I might be, injured on the couch, but, being injured on the couch, man, I'm going to do whatever I got to do just to give it my best for that day. And so, man, just growing and, staying connected, and aligned with, my Heavenly Father and, staying attached to my wife and my children and just really stewarding these relationships, bro, that I've encountered is pretty much, man, that's kind of just what I'm on right now.
Right.
So,
can I add something?
Yes, sir.
Mario added, he said, again, you said something about you might not be able to give it your all. A lot of people always want to say, hey, I'm going to give it 110%. You can never give anything 110%.
Right.
You can only give it 100%. And that was by John Wooden in one of his books, I think 7, I forget the exact title of the book, but John Wooden said it. You can't go above 100%.
Right.
You can only give 100%. So don't say, hey, today I'm going to give it 90, but I'm going to give 110 tomorrow.
You can't do that.
You cannot do it.
Because that 90 is gone.
At the end of the day, that day is gone. Yeah. You only have 24 hours to make the best of it at that particular moment. So like you said, at the end of the day, put your best foot forward. There's going to be days where you can't do what you want to do or because you're not 100%. Mm-hmm. It could be like myself. I had COVID. I wasn't my 100% self. I was trapped in a room. Right. But at the end of the day, the best that I could do is make sure I got the things done that I can control. Yeah. I can't control anything else outside of the actions that I have.
Right.
And I just learned that today, man. I was talking to Maxwell, my younger brother, and he's in college and he's taking. So he goes to shout out to Max. He goes to Pepperdine. He's playing basketball up there, and he's in like this biblical class, and they have these speakers come in and. The first speaker he told me was like a chaplain, and then the second guy, he's this preacher, and he's like this theologian, and he went to school, and he did all his schooling and stuff, and now he's preaching and stuff and teaching classes, and he's a professor at Pepperdine.
Right. And
he was talking about that today, as far as he sent me the audio from the dude, and he was talking about giving it your best and giving it your all, and he was like, it's such a huge misconception, because it's like the Instagram people, right? You got these people on Instagram and they have these crazy bodies, right? And they're telling these people that you can get these bodies within like a month or 2 months, and it's like, what? why are you doing this? Like you're killing these people. You're telling them something that's, you know, almost impossible to be shredded like that in 2 months. You know what I'm saying? And then so it's like they're thinking they have to give this 110%, 120% best, you know, every single day when that's not even impossible. You know, it's like you're draining yourself mentally to where physically you can't even think or fathom to get to where this person is at.
Right.
That's why you just got to be, you know, you got to accept your truth. You got to be okay with who you are.
Right.
You just got to give it your best. Whatever your best is, you just got to give it to yourself every single day.
Right.
Now, absolutely, you want to strive for more, but just give it your best. Whatever it is, give it your best.
Beautiful. I love it, man. I really love it. And then that led me to one more question before we go to my last question.
Let's get it.
So, how fast do you see the results from your growth? That's a good one, ain't it?
I mean, I guess, you know, how long does a bamboo tree grow? How long does it take a bamboo tree to grow? You know, they say it takes 10 years for a bamboo tree to grow.
And you won't see no type of results.
No.
Yeah.
And then boom,
And
it
then
just
it shoots out the ground.
It shoots up. That's
Yeah.
like, you know,
That's the best torture technique they say.
yeah, it's like it's a professional athlete. Who is it? And he talks about, you know, his whole journey of what it took for him to get to the NBA, NFL or NBA, but basically he was saying it was like it took me my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He said it took me like over 22 years
Right.
to get to the NFL. You got to count Pop Warner. You got to count your dad
High
throwing you
school.
the football.
Yeah.
Pop Warner, middle school.
Weights. You gotta go
Street
weights,
ball.
waking up at 6 in the
You know what I'm
morning,
saying?
college.
It's like-
You got street ball in there. You got breaking stuff in the house in there.
It's I mean, success is just you keep going. You
Yeah.
keep going until you just keep going.
No, I
You
love
keep
it.
pursuing. Like go watch what's the movie with
Pursuit of Happiness?
Go watch Pursuit of Happiness. You just
Young.
keep going
Just keep
until
going.
it happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Beautiful. I love it, man.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I just want to make sure we got that out there, that the idea that growth don't just happen overnight or immediately. Like,
Just plant the seeds and water it. That's all.
that's all you have to do.
gotta
Plant
do.
the seeds and water and then keep taking care of it. Take the
And-
weeds out. Make sure there are
for
weeds
sure.
in your garden
For
and
sure.
keep doing what you can do.
So was the question, does growth happen instantaneously?
How
or-
often?
or
I think it
how
was-
success?
fast?
Yeah.
How fast do you see the results of your growth?
I
So
can't-
yeah, so basically success.
Yeah,
So
I can't answer that for you. For you
Yeah.
people listening, you know, just get off social media and thinking everything's gonna happen tomorrow.
And
Stop
take your
letting
own
other
path.
people validate what
Yeah.
you've been doing.
Yeah.
So what I will say in regards to success, yes, success is a 10-year journey where you're gonna say, hey, it happened overnight. No, you didn't see when I was crying, you didn't see my depression, you didn't see all the little things that allowed me to be able to be the person I am here today. But in regards to growth happens every day. Growth happens just waking up, because are you a better version of yourself than you were when you close your eyes? That happens every single day. You have the choice, like Mario said earlier, to make that every day. Now, if you don't make that choice every day, then yes, you're not gonna grow.
That's funny you say that, because I'm like, hey, I'm not the successful guy I want to be yet, but I'm growing every day.
That's it.
That's all I can give you.
And at the end of the day, when you can get 1% better every day than you were yesterday, that's the plus. When you can be able to, like, for example, I can use, you know, for me, being able to stop certain things in my life is 1% better. It's not 20%, no, it's 1% better, because I made a better decision at that day. Now I have to make a better decision tomorrow. I'll use again, I know we gotta wrap up, but
No, you good.
somebody that I was listening to on the audio, she said she was on a diet. It was on a salt and water diet. On their salt and water diet, I think they did it for a week or 3 days. Cleanse them out, their stomach. She said they got to the end, and the son told her, hey, we need to watch videos of people eating. She was like, what? He said, do you know why? In order for us to be able to succeed past this barrier that we're having because we're hungry, we have to watch other people. So why? So that can be in our subconscious mind that we can be able to do this. We can be able to do that because we know when we get off of a diet, we love to just eat whatever we want after. Like, But if you're watching other people eat, you're in a position now where you know subconsciously, where you know what you're eating.
Right.
So again, it is something that you can control your actions every day.
Right. I love it.
That's
and then, so then I just want to add like a little definition on top of success. I think Earl Nightingale says it the best. He says his definition of success is a person working toward their ideal goal. So, for example, the mom who wants to be a stay-at-home mom is a success. The teacher that is teaching the class is a success.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, as long as you're doing what you want to do and you feel like that's your calling, I feel that's a success.
That's success for you.
Exactly,
That's
for
it.
you. Everybody's
You're not-
success is different.
Everybody's success is different, man.
Yeah.
Success, like my brother, shout out to VJ, has a tattoo on his chest and it says, you measure success by how many people you've blessed. Again, different definition, but still at the same time, it's what you define as
What you
success.
define success.
Yeah.
Your success might be for maybe somebody that's 400 pounds, them going to go just walking a step outside.
Man, taking a lap around the neighborhood, that's a success.
You know what I'm saying? Them just taking a step outside for people to look at them. Maybe they don't care. They're not happy with themselves, but them walking by the mailman and the mailman looking at them, that is something that is a success to them,
Right.
because they were able to do something that they weren't able to do before.
Right. And that's how I was gonna say. So, you know, don't shoot yourself down because you're not actually there yet.
Yeah.
As long as you do that daily growth, you're becoming a success. Definitely, if you're growing toward the direction that you want to go.
For sure.
You know, I love it, man. And then, last but not least, you already know I asked everybody on the Just Keep Swimming podcast where you still swimming to. I think we kind of answered the question already because you was talking about your daily goals and you was talking about, blank my mind, Mario.
Yeah.
Basically, his goals
Being
in
the
morning.
best.
Yeah.
Just
being
being better
best.
every day.
Yeah, being better
for sure,
every day.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
So with me, I'm just gonna share mine real quick just because I'm reading this book real quick. The book I'm reading right now called The Surrender Experiment, and he's really like letting me know that I just need to learn to sometimes let go.
Okay.
I can't hold on to everything fist tight. You know what I'm saying? Some things you have to just let go and see what the universe is bringing to you. You know, and actually stop and pay attention. So that's one thing I've been doing, and definitely with this cold right now. It's been like, oh man, I'm sick. I hate being sick. You know, I got to cancel tutoring and possibly put the podcast back and not go to work. But then on the flip side, last night I actually sat there and stopped. Like, man, what's the benefits of being sick right now? And I was like, one thing that hit me was like, man, my senses are on 1,000. I can feel every single breeze, and I can taste all the food and the seasonings and the peppers. And, you know what I'm saying? I can taste every little thing I put into the chicken just now. And then the love that you're getting back from people and the support that's coming in. And it was like, okay, yes, it sucks. My body's not perfect, but I feel my spiritual's good. My affirmations are working for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here trying to say my affirmations still. And look, I still do my podcast, no problem. So it's like,
Dude, we haven't stopped.
yeah, we haven't stopped. We still rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Like
So,
Jermaine said, you find the beauty in the struggle.
Yeah.
Find the beauty in the struggle, man.
Find the beauty in the struggle, for real. Or I think you said in your last episode, bro. You see your vision in the bottom, in the valley. You find your vision in the valley.
Yeah, we'll go with that. We're gonna go with that.
You said it, bro. You said you find your vision in the valley. You
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, you do.
Yeah.
I think you find your vision when you're going through the worst time of your
Did I
life.
say that?
Yeah, I showed it, bro.
I got you recorded, sorry, quoted, and everything, bro.
man.
But yeah, you find your vision in the valley at that time. You know, I think we all go through so much, man. Again, you know, off podcast, you know, I'll be able to explain a little bit more, but I think everything that I went through today with my superior, my boss, and for me to come out and feel the way I did and say, you know what, I need to apologize, not about what I said, but not walking away when I needed to walk away. That is a situation where I show growth. Because the old me, I'm going to go at you and I'm not going to have nothing to say about it. And I'm not going to have no feelings about it. But the growth in me, I can see where I could have done better. Not necessarily saying my words were needed to be said. But at the same time, did they need to be said at that one moment?
Right.
Should we have done something at going to go get a drink? Or should we have done something in a better environment than a controlled environment that allowed us to be at a defensive part?
Right.
So again, we all have growth in us, man. We just got to be able to go and see the best version of ourselves every day when we wake up in that mirror.
Right. Amen, man. I love it, bro. I love it. And then, anybody got a quote they want to leave?
I already said my quote.
I know you already said your quote. What about you, Lou?
No, I don't have a quote. You know, I'm still going off pretty much what I told y'all the last podcast, man. Remember when I was telling you about one of the managers at my job and
The way you do everything, the way you do anything is how you do everything.
Absolutely. So I'm just still living by that, man.
Yes, I love
I mean,
it, bro.
you know, honestly, you can say, you know, how you practice.
Practice
It's how
what
you
you
got. How you practice is how you gonna play.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the practice that you're going out and going to be intentional every single day with your living is how when the lights are really on, it's going to show your growth later on down the road because you've been putting that practice in.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. The how you do anything is how you do everything. Yeah. You practice how you play. I feel that's the same words, just different verbiage.
For sure.
So yeah, man, I love it, man. I love it. I just want to say I appreciate you guys for being with us today, man. I truly appreciate it. Definitely for sticking out through me with this little sickness and whatnot.
Okay.
I feel you guys just dropped a lot of gems, a lot of diamonds in the water right now, floating around.
Mario, man. All right, Mario, bro.
Nah, bro. That was both of you guys, man. Y'all bounce off each other.
Hey, disclaimer, I am not perfect, people. I still have fun.
Hey, I'm not perfect. I'm progressing.
Disclaimer, I will never be perfect. That's not my goal to be perfect. My goal is to help you out the best way I can.
I'm just progressing every day. I will never be perfect, but I am progressing every day.
I'm enjoying it.
Eat the meat, spit out the bones.
Eat the meat, spit out the bones. I love it. I love it, yes, man. So I just want to say I appreciate you guys for being with us here today, fellas, man. Taking the time out. Elijah, I know you got to get up early in the morning, so appreciate you for sacrificing a little bit of time for us, bro. Y'all killed it. Y'all killed it as always.
Hey, we appreciate y'all, man, just for allowing us to be on here, man.
Yep, thank you guys. Appreciate it. It was fun.
Yes.
Best of luck to you guys on your podcast journey.
Oh, you already know y'all gonna be back on here a few more times.
Let's get it. I'm ready.
Hopefully by December y'all be in the studio with us.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
Yes. Donovan, bro, I appreciate you again for another great episode. Need to knock your microphone out, did you?
No, we good.
Okay, yeah, appreciate you again for another great episode, bro. Hope you learned something. Got you over there marinating a little bit.
Dude, I was taking in everything I was hearing, especially since it's right in my ears. It's just like, wow, this was an amazing episode.
Good, I'm glad you enjoyed it. If the engineer approved, you already know this is a great A certified.
Great certified.
Step of approval, A+ on this bad boy.
So.
Yes. I appreciate you guys, fellas. Everybody out there listening today, I hope you guys have an amazing day, wonderful afternoon, a splendid evening. Remember to follow us on Facebook, IG, Twitter. Subscribe.
Comment.
Check out the
My Brother and Me podcast. Just throwing that out there again. You know.
I was about to say my brothers keep looking. I don't want to mess it up. Like, you jumped in. Dude, that's my Deuce Club. You felt what I was trying to say. That's that new bitch right there. You can't trade that for nobody.
But subscribe to Just Swimming Podcast. Comment. That is where we get our most content when you are commenting on that, because that allows us to get better every day. Yes. So please comment, share, tell your friends. We need you.
Yes. All questions, comments, concerns, jkspodcast702@gmail.com. Anything you want to ask Mario and Elijah, we'll make sure you get the questions to them. And with all that being said, thank you guys for listening today. Once again, amazing afternoon, a wonderful day, a splendid evening, and remember, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Y'all can say it if y'all want to.
Swim.
We say, just keep swimming.
You gotta just keep swimming.
Or you can do you hit you with the dory.
Oh yeah.
Or you can hit it with the.
Let's go Lion King again, bro. That shit was lit.
Nah, I swear, that dory was on fire. That dory was fire.
Yeah, do the dory, bro.
Dory. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Hey,
swimming.
hey,
Swimming.
hey, hey,
Keep swimming.
hey,
Keep swimming.
hey,
Keep swimming.
hey.
Swimming. Swimming.